In the vast tapestry of Hindu mythology, every god has a companion. Vishnu has Garuda, the mighty eagle. Ganesha has Mushika, the humble mouse. And Shiva, the great ascetic, has Nandi. Nandi is not just a bull. He is not merely a vehicle, a vahana. He is the greatest devotee, the gatekeeper of Kailash, and the very symbol of steadfast faith. His story is one of profound love and unwavering loyalty. He sits forever before Shiva, his eyes fixed on his Lord, eternally waiting for a command. Nandi represents the perfect disciple, whose entire existence is dedicated to serving the divine. This devotion is the foundation of his being, a promise made across lifetimes. The world of the gods, Devaloka, was once shrouded in fear. A powerful asura named Tarakasura had risen to power. He had performed severe penance and obtained a boon that made him nearly invincible. He could only be defeated by a son of Shiva, but Shiva was deep in meditation, withdrawn from the world. Tarakasura, filled with arrogance, waged a terrible war against the Devas. He defeated Indra, the king of the gods, and cast them out of their celestial homes. The Devas, who command the forces of nature, were now powerless and homeless wanderers, their divine glory diminished by the might of the Asura king. Desperate and terrified, the gods sought refuge. They knew that no ordinary place could hide them from Tarakasura's wrath. Led by Indra and Brihaspati, their wise guru, they found their way to the tranquil ashram of a great sage. This hermitage was a sanctuary of peace, a place where violence was forbidden and spiritual energy provided a shield against evil. Here, amongst the chanting rishis and the sacred fires, the gods hid their divine forms. They lived as simple ascetics, praying for a savior to emerge and deliver them from their suffering. They hoped that the sanctity of the ashram would protect them until a solution could be found. From his icy abode on Mount Kailash, Shiva, the all-seeing one, became aware of the god's plight. Though he was deep in his meditative state, his compassion for the universe was ever present. He saw the fear in the hearts of the Devas and the chaos unleashed by Tarakasura. He understood that order needed to be restored. While the prophecy of his future son Kartikeya was yet to be fulfilled, the immediate danger to the gods required swift action. He opened his third eye, not in anger, but in concern. It was time to send a message, a symbol of his power and protection, to reassure the frightened Devas. Shiva turned his gaze to his most trusted follower, Nandi. He called to the gentle bull, who was always at his side. "Nandi!" Shiva commanded, his voice echoing with cosmic authority. "The Devas are in peril. They are hiding in fear from Tarakasura. You must go to them. Protect them until the time is right for the Asura's end. Be their guardian, their shield." Nandi bowed his head in complete submission. This was the moment his devotion had prepared him for. He was not just a carrier of the Lord, but an extension of the Lord's will. With a heart full of courage and Shiva's blessings, Nandi set off from Kailash, his purpose clear. As Nandi approached the sage's ashram, he found it surrounded. Tarakasura's demonic army, a horde of grotesque and fearsome creatures, had discovered the god's hiding place. They were preparing to attack the sacred ground, to defile its purity and capture the Devas. Nandi did not hesitate. He placed himself at the entrance of the ashram, a lone sentinel against a legion of darkness. The Asura soldiers laughed at the sight of a single bull standing against them. They could not see the divine power that radiated from him, the unshakable resolve forged in the fire of pure devotion. He was the gatekeeper of Kailash, and now he was the gatekeeper of hope. Seeing the overwhelming numbers, Nandi knew he had to reveal his true might. He let out a mighty roar that shook the earth and sky. In that moment, he transformed. He grew to the size of a mountain, his white hide gleaming with celestial light. His horns became as sharp as Shiva's trident, and his eyes burned with a fierce, protective fire. He was no longer just Nandi, the gentle bull. He was the wrath of Kailash made manifest. He charged into the Asura army, a terrifying force of nature. He trampled soldiers under his massive hooves and tossed demons into the air with his powerful horns, scattering them like leaves in a storm. The battle raged for days. Nandi fought tirelessly. a one-bull army holding back the tide of evil. He created a protective barrier around the ashram, ensuring that not a single asura could get past him to harm the devas. The gods watched in awe from their sanctuary, their hearts filled with gratitude for this incredible display of loyalty and strength. Nandi's courage gave them hope. He was a living testament to the fact that even in the darkest of times, a single devotee's faith could stand as a fortress against an army. He was proving that true power comes not from boons or arrogance, but from selfless service to a higher purpose. Tarakasura, enraged by the unexpected resistance, decided to enter the battle himself. He saw that his entire army was being held at bay by this one divine bull. He strode onto the battlefield, wielding a powerful celestial weapon, a spear that could pierce through any defense. He confronted Nandi, mocking his loyalty. "You are but an animal," Tarakasura sneered. "Why would you sacrifice yourself for these cowardly gods?" Nandi simply stood his ground, his gaze unwavering. He would not let the asura pass. As Tarakasura prepared to hurl his ultimate weapon at the devas, Nandi made a fateful choice. He chose sacrifice. With a final, defiant roar, Nandi charged directly at Tarakasura. He knew he could not defeat the asura, but he could intercept the blow meant for the gods. He positioned his own body between the weapon and the ashram. Tarakasura threw his spear with all his might, and it struck Nandi deep in his side. The divine bull shuddered, a mortal wound tearing through him. He fell to the ground, his colossal form shrinking back to its normal size. The light in his eyes began to fade. He had saved the gods, but at the cost of his own life. His sacrifice silenced the battlefield, a moment of profound tragedy and heroism. On Mount Kailash, Shiva felt Nandi's life force ebb away. The connection between them was so deep that Shiva felt the pain of the spear as if it had struck him. His meditation was shattered. A primordial rage, a cosmic fury erupted from the Lord of Destruction. His third eye flew open, blazing with a fire that threatened to consume all of creation. The heavens trembled and the mountains shook. Shiva rose, his grief turning into a terrible, world-ending anger. "They have killed my Nandi!" His voice thundered across the universe. "For this crime, I will burn the 3 worlds to ash. Devaloka will be the first to perish." The gods, Tarakasura, and all beings in creation felt the terrifying heat of Shiva's wrath. Tarakasura, for all his power, was paralyzed with fear. He had defeated the Devas, but he had just provoked the Mahadeva, the god of gods. He realized the monumental scale of his mistake. Hurting Shiva's devotee was far more dangerous than attacking the gods. He dropped his weapon and fell to his knees, trembling. The Devas too were terrified, for Shiva's anger made no distinction between friend and foe. In his grief, he was ready to unmake everything. The universe stood on the brink of annihilation, all because of one act of loyalty and the terrible price it had exacted. As Shiva's destructive energy began to surge, Shukracharya, the guru of the Asuras, stepped forward. He was a wise sage, and he possessed a secret knowledge given to him by Shiva himself, the Marita Sanjivani mantra. This was the ultimate chant of revival, a sacred formula that could bring the dead back to life. Shukracharya bowed low before the enraged Shiva. "O Mahadeva," he pleaded, "please calm your fury. I can restore your beloved Nandi. I possess the knowledge you once bestowed upon me. Allow me to undo this tragedy." Tarakasura, seeing a glimmer of hope, also pleaded for forgiveness, promising to retreat and spare the gods. Shiva's anger was a storm, but the promise of Nandi's return was the only thing that could quell it. He paused, his fiery gaze falling upon Shukracharya. He saw the sincerity in the sage's plea and the genuine remorse in Tarakasura's fear. He slowly lowered his trident, the cosmic fire receding from his third eye. He gave a solemn nod, granting Shukracharya permission to perform the ritual. The universe held its breath as the Asura guru knelt beside Nandi's still form. He began to chant the complex and powerful syllables of the Sanjivani mantra, his voice weaving a thread of life back into the fabric of existence. As the final words of the mantra were spoken, a golden light enveloped Nandi's body. The grievous wound on his side healed in an instant. His chest rose as he took a deep, shuddering breath. Nandi opened his eyes, which were once again filled with life and devotion. He slowly got to his feet and looked towards Shiva, his heart overflowing with love for his lord. He was alive again. The Devas cheered, their relief echoing through the heavens. Tarakasura, true to his word, retreated with his army, his arrogance shattered. The immediate threat had passed, and it was all thanks to Nandi's selfless act. Lord Shiva looked upon Nandi not just as a vehicle, but as his dearest companion, his son. He blessed Nandi, declaring that his loyalty and sacrifice would be remembered for all time. Nandi's story became a powerful lesson. It teaches us that faith is not passive, it is active and courageous. True devotion is about a willingness to protect what is righteous, even at the cost of one's own life. Nandi's tale is not just about a bull who died and was reborn. It is about the profound, unbreakable bond between the divine and the devotee, a bond that can calm the fiercest storms and even conquer death itself.